realtors, not necessarily in that order.
Talk about realtors.
Yes.
Talk with realtors.
It's fun to talk about them and to them. Today's episode is 5 questions that realtors cannot answer.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
What's the first one?
How are the schools around here?
Well, this one's really good, but that one is terrible.
Can't say that. Why are we not allowed to talk about the schools?
Well, first of all, I don't think we're supposed to be giving our opinion on anything. We should advise them to do their own research. It's kind of a boring one, but that's true. Really on any of these, it's like you need to do your own research or talk to the professional that's in that area. So just tell people to go to the school and or research through the district.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Number 2, how should I hold title?
That's a great question. Usually what I do is explain to or send them a link that explains the different ways that you can hold title. And they can also talk to the title officer or escrow officer, but they're also not supposed to guide them in that way. We can explain what they are, but that's about as far as that can go. Yep. I will say, and I'm not telling you to do this, but most people hold as tenants in common.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what the title company will say is, well, most people in your situation do this, but here's the resources. Do your own research, decide what's best for you. And I think that's because it has to do with how the proceeds of the sale will be divided later, and that's a personal
and
financial
should someone
decision.
pass away, how that all works.
Yeah.
This is going to get juicier, so don't
leave us yet.
Don't hit next.
Okay, number 3. Speaking of juicy, how much taxes will I owe on my sale?
You need to have a little more fun in your life, Kelsey.
My point was that's a dry question, but
that is a dry question, but it is that we do not know because they should talk to
a CPA.
Right. Yay.
Yes, and obviously, I mean, a lot of times when you're selling your primary home, at least here in Chico, many people do not owe taxes, but there's situations when selling an investment property, or if you're making in California more than $250,000 on the proceeds per person, then you will owe taxes, and we cannot tell you how much that is. There's no way we could even if we wanted to.
But the typical rule of thumb is if you've been in your property 2 out of the last 5 years, and that $250,000 per person rule, then you typically would not have to pay taxes. However, you should seek the advice of your accountant.
Disclaimer.
I like this one.
Number 4.
Not like it, but is there a lot of crime in this neighborhood?
You should talk to Chico PD. That's the correct answer for that one.
That is a correct answer.
Talk to your local police department, because they actually know. And that's the thing too, is like I don't live in that neighborhood. I can't speculate what's going on over there. I could only tell you what happens in my street, but I couldn't, I don't know. I don't know at the end of the day. So it's good to call Chico or the local, I have my phone case, my local police department, and find out exactly what the crime rates are if that's important to you.
And another suggestion too is you could always knock on the neighbors' doors.
And I do suggest that.
Hey, tell me about the neighborhood. Tell me about what's going on here.
And it's a chance to meet the neighbors, which is good.
To meet the neighbors. And they may tell you, oh, yeah, I got my bike stolen last week. Or who knows what they're going to tell you. They're probably going to want to gossip about other neighbors. Which leads us to number 5.
We cannot give personal opinions on neighbors if we happen to know them. Or hearsay.
Even hearsay. Yeah.
About a neighbor.
We had a situation several years ago where another realtor came to me on a listing that I had and said, did you hear about the neighbor across the street from your listing at 123 Main Street, which is a fake address? And I said, no, and I didn't really want to know. And she told me all this stuff about this guy. So I go to my client and say, did you know that your neighbor, this is what I've heard? And she goes, no, I saw cops over there one time. I thought they were the wife and the husband were getting into an argument, but I didn't really know anything else. So now that is a disclosure item for me as a realtor, because if I know something or have heard something, I did not know anything for sure, but if you know something, you have to disclose it. So in that case, what I did was I said in the MLS, please call me before submitting an offer so I can give you some details. And I just said, this is what we've heard. You can actually look up the neighbor's name and you can look up whether this person has a record or not, and then decide whether you want to write an offer on the house. I'm not going to say one way or the other if this guy's a creep or not a creep. You have to decide on your own. But this is what we've heard, because you cannot slander.
Yes.
Because it may not be true.
Exactly.
but it was true. And everybody still wrote like 5 offers. We still got 5 offers on the house.
I know. I wonder how that's going for them.
Actually, the guy moved out. I think he went
perfect.
long time prison term.
Well, oh gosh.
Well, bye. It's a nice neighborhood too. You just never know.
You never know.
Right.
You never
but
know.
it also could have been completely not true.
Yes. And the thing is too, is once you buy a house, you don't know who's going to move in around you later.
Right.
So you just can't pick your neighbors. And it's just one of those things. It's one of the risks.
Can I say that I think I live on the best street in Chico? My neighbors are some of the nicest people ever.
My neighbors are super nice.
I know. I love being
So
in a neighborhood
nice.
where people like wave to you. Like they took my
Yes.
garbage cans out the other day.
Mine
because
too.
I forgot. I'm like, what?
So nice.
Maybe there are
You guys should just move on to one of
kind
our streets.
people in the world. I don't know. Anyways. All right. Well, that's the juicy
That was the juice.
topic. The 5 questions realtors cannot
You didn't even tell us
answer.
what the guy did.
Oh God, I don't even want to get into it. I was not good. He was just a criminal basically, and drugs, alcohol,
All the
guns,
works.
all sorts of stuff.
I've had one of
Robbery,
those,
theft.
too.
But that's not the one where someone murdered their mom. I did have that house once where the
Yes.
guy murdered his mom.
Yes.
That was
Oh my gosh.
interesting, which you have to disclose that for sure because he did it in the house.
Yeah, that was a fact, not
This is
hearsay.
Not a good way to end this,
But we are. So. All right, stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.
bye.